My name is Buck Rogers. I am Lazaret's Director of Program Management, and the exciting project that we're talking about is a project for a medical cart. My background is primarily in the engineering field. I'm pushing 30 years in manufacturing in general. I started out in automotive and worked my way through some cap and closure manufacturers, some chemical manufacturing, some machine tools. I actually did machine tooling like diamond tip tools. So kind of a diverse background in both from an engineering perspective as well as operations. I've held some positions in operations leadership at a few places as well. So I feel like I have a pretty diverse background to help Lazaret in the project management field in particular. I know enough to ask the good questions and keep things rolling and keep things efficient. Our project that we're going to talk about today is a medical cart project. And it's been pretty super exciting. It's been a 2.5 year process to get where we are today. Yeah, if you've ever seen the shows Grey's Anatomy and things like that, the carts that they're wheeling around, those folks are typically wheeling crash carts. These ones aren't quite that exciting, but yes, that's exactly what they are. They're the carts that you're going to see in the doctor's offices, in the nursing homes, in hospitals, and their primary role is points of information that are mobile, right? So these carts are smart. They're equipped with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You can deploy a laptop inside this device. It has an interface with it to interface with all the network within the hospital or the medical center to access information and have a mobile point of information and a mobile point of honestly dispensing of medications as well. These carts are self-controlled, using that information from the network to control access to drawers and things of that nature. So they are smart.
So welcome to the plant. Like we were talking on the way out here, love the smell of plastic in the morning. This is the cart that we're talking about earlier. It's a smart cart. So behind the screen here is all the electronics that interface with the hospital network systems. It's got a hood here you can deploy your laptop in. It's got its own power supply on the bottom. Everything you see here is all those 117 different plastic components. They're all coming together to form this guy here. So we're making parts as small as the insert for this light. Okay. It's got a diffusing agent in there, so it diffuses the right light real nice and soft. We help them deploy that. So all the way out to the keyboard trays, right-hand mouse, left-hand mouse, and then some of the larger parts on the base to cover the power supply and things of that nature. All that's in here. There's also components inside this lift mechanism. There's various components inside here, so that it's an assisted lift. All those components inside there that are plastic, we do those as well, along with procuring all the purchase parts.
It looks very ergonomic.
Very ergonomic. Put it wherever you want it. So that all nurses and helpers come in all shapes and sizes. Their product design is tremendous. It really helps out a lot.
So the biggest challenges were time. By the time we got the purchase order, we had less than a year to have everything happen. So we're used to doing sampling and trialing and seeing what the parts are like and doing PPAP packages, capability studies, inspection reports. But when you multiply that out by 117, the single largest challenge is making all that happen on time. We came up with some strategies, did the tooling offshore. So we strategically kept some of that tooling offshore so that they could help us with the part molding process. We do a batch here, they do a batch over there, and then we could save time that way. We shaved off several months from deployment of that first unit by being able to do that. As you can imagine, there's some inherent risk with that, but we've tried to mitigate that with just open channels of communication, weekly, sometimes bi-daily meetings to stay on top of things. And we were able to pull back something that we originally committed to launch in June of this year to January. That was super aggressive considering too that of when the purchase orders were cut to get this thing going. I would say the single biggest thing is just the magnitude of the challenge, right? We've staffed up. As you can imagine, getting the initial 117 product approval processes happening, that's a slug of work. It's hard to hire for that, for something that's gonna come and go, right? That's a wave, it's a tsunami that we've got to surf, right? So we're doing that with just a dedicated group of people working hard. We also recognize that with all these different molds, all of these different changeovers now, we're adding another 117 SKUs to our current book of business. We've staffed up across the business to be able to handle this. We brought in talent from a molding perspective. So we brought in talent for process technicians. We brought in talent for process engineering. We brought in talent in the quality department, as you can imagine, to not only help absorb this swell, but also be able to maintain the constant monitoring of CTQs, critical to quality dimensions, and things like that that will be ongoing. We've also added on to the facility, if you will, per se. We rented some square footage down the street, literally right down the street, maybe within a quarter mile of our main building, to house the assembly portion of this business because we couldn't absorb it within the four walls that we have. And this business has sparked really great conversations about the continual expansion of our business in general and what that looks like and the probability of that happening here on this site. We do have room for expansion here from a property perspective. We can expand where we are and just grow into this more, creating a center of excellence that would house this business in addition to our current assembly business, which is continually growing over time here as we provide more value for our customers and their supply chain.